A Vallejo murder suspect could be connected to other killings that happen around the country because authorities have discovered that he applied for a marriage license with a woman accused of murder in Vermont.
Welcome to Night and Day True Crimes. For more content like this, please thumbs up this video and subscribe.
The landlord received a call. It was about his duplex condo in Chapel Hill. The neighbors were concerned. They had seen 2 box trucks parked outside. One truck had thick electrical cords snaking into the condo. It looked suspicious. The other truck was even more unsettling. It contained a stretcher. Why? No one seemed to know. The tenants kept to themselves. They were an odd bunch, always dressed in black. Their attire was more than just clothing. It was like a uniform. They moved with an unsettling silence. Their faces were hidden beneath hoods. They came and went at odd hours. The neighbors rarely saw their faces. The mystery deepened. The landlord decided to investigate. He approached the condo cautiously. He could hear a low hum coming from inside. What were they doing in there? He knocked on the door. No answer. He tried again. Still nothing. He peered through a window, but the glass was covered. He couldn't see inside. The landlord felt a chill run down his spine. Something was wrong, very wrong. The neighbors whispered about the strange tenants. They spoke in hushed tones. No one knew their names, or where they came from, or what they were doing in Chapel Hill. Some said they were running a secret laboratory. Others feared something more sinister. The rumors spread. Some people dismissed them as nonsense. Others couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. The tenants remained an enigma. Their true nature remained hidden, but the shadows they cast grew longer. One night, a neighbor saw something strange. He was walking his dog when he noticed lights on in the condo. He stopped to look. He saw 3 figures inside. They were wearing black robes and tactical vests. He froze. His heart pounded in his chest. The figures moved with a chilling precision. They were armed. He couldn't believe his eyes. What had he stumbled upon? Hundreds of miles away, on a desolate stretch of road in Vermont, a tragedy unfolded. Border Patrol agent David Maland was conducting a routine traffic stop. He had no idea what awaited him. As he approached the vehicle, gunfire erupted. Maland fell to the ground. He had been shot multiple times. The driver of the car, a woman named Teresa Youngblood, jumped out and opened fire on Maland's partner. A fierce gun battle ensued. One of the passengers in Youngblood's car, a German national named Felix Bauchold, was also killed in the crossfire. Youngblood was eventually apprehended. She was charged with murder and attempted murder. The incident sent shockwaves through law enforcement. Who was Teresa Youngblood? And why had she opened fire on a Border Patrol agent? As investigators dug deeper into the Chapel Hill incident and the Vermont shootout, they uncovered something chilling. The tenants in the condo and the individuals involved in the shootout were connected. They were all members of a secretive group known as the Zizian cult. The Zizians were a fringe group with radical beliefs. They adhered to a bizarre mix of veganism, anarchism, and extreme rationalism. They believed that they were intellectually superior to others. They felt justified in using violence to achieve their goals. The group was founded by a charismatic and deeply disturbed individual named Jack Amadeus Ziz Lasota. Lasota was a former computer scientist with a history of mental instability. She had a knack for attracting followers who were drawn to her intelligence and radical ideology. Jack Amadeus Ziz Lasota was a puzzle, even to those who knew her best. Born male but identifying as female, she possessed a genius-level intellect. She had graduated top of her class with a degree in computer science. She had even interned at NASA. But somewhere along the way, Lasota's brilliance had taken a dark turn. Lasota became obsessed with radical ideologies. She saw conspiracies everywhere. She believed that the world was on the brink of collapse. She felt that it was her duty to save humanity from itself, even if it meant resorting to violence. In 2016, Lasota started a blog where she espoused her twisted worldview. Her writings were a bizarre mix of technical jargon, philosophical ramblings, and violent threats. She railed against the government, corporations, and anyone she deemed morally inferior. Her blog became a magnet for other disaffected individuals who felt alienated from society. They found solace in Lasota's words. They were ready to follow her down a dangerous path. Section 6. A Trail of Violence. The Zizian cult's activities escalated from online rhetoric to real-world violence. In November 2019, Lasota and several followers were arrested at a protest in Northern California. They had vandalized a slaughterhouse and assaulted employees. Lasota was charged with inciting a riot and assault. But she disappeared before she could stand trial. In August 2022, Lasota faked her own death in a boating accident. She had staged the whole thing to avoid prosecution. She went into hiding with a small group of loyal followers. They moved from state to state. They funded their activities through a combination of petty crime and online scams. In November 2022, the Zizians resurfaced in Vallejo, California. They attacked a landlord named Curtis Lind, who had evicted them from one of their safe houses. During the attack, one of Lasota's followers, Emma Borhanian, was killed by Lind in self-defense. Another follower, Alexander Leatham, lost an eye. Lasota and the remaining members of the group vanished into thin air. Section 7. The Price of Blind Faith. The violence continued. On New Year's Eve 2022, an elderly couple, Richard and Rita Zajko, were found shot to death in their home in Chester Heights, Pennsylvania. Witnesses reported seeing a group of young people fleeing the scene in a beat-up van. The van was later traced back to the Zizian cult. Lasota was arrested in connection with the Zajko murders, but she was released on bail after her followers intimidated witnesses. She went on the run again. She remained at large for over a year. During that time, she continued to recruit new members to her twisted cause. On January 17, 2025, Curtis Lind, the landlord who had killed Emma Borhanian in self-defense, was found stabbed to death in his home in Vallejo. Police arrested a 22-year-old man named Maximilian Snyder for the murder. Snyder had recently applied for a marriage license with Teresa Youngblood, the woman who had killed Border Patrol agent David Milan just days earlier. Section 8. The hunt continues. The Zizian cult's reign of terror had finally been exposed. Law enforcement agencies across the country were now on high alert. The FBI launched a nationwide manhunt for Lasota and her remaining followers. They were considered armed and extremely dangerous. The investigation into the Zizian cult was complex and sprawling. The group was small but highly mobile. They used encrypted communication channels to avoid detection. They had a network of safe houses and sympathizers across the country. The FBI appealed to the public for help in locating the fugitives. They released photos of Lasota and her known associates. They offered a reward for information leading to their capture. The authorities warned the public not to approach the Zizians if they encountered them. They urged anyone with information to contact their local FBI office immediately. Section 9. A Shadow Over Tomorrow. The dark saga of the Zizian cult is a chilling reminder of the dangers of extremism. It shows how easily charismatic leaders can manipulate vulnerable individuals. It highlights the devastating consequences of unchecked hatred and violence. As the manhunt for Lasota and her followers continues, the world watches and waits. The question on everyone's mind is, how many more lives will be lost before justice is served? The Zizian cult may be gone, but the scars they left on society remain. Their story serves as a cautionary tale about the importance of vigilance, critical thinking, and compassion. It is a reminder that we must always be on guard against those who seek to divide us and sow chaos in the world.